loves. How are you? I hope you're doing great today. Today we're going to talk about primal voice. This is step 4 in my book, A Pretty Voice, 8 Steps to Beautiful Singing. And I want to talk a little bit about that before I jump in. Go ahead and click or check out the links below where you can look at having one-on-one voice lessons with me. You can also purchase my ebook, A Pretty Voice, on Amazon or Etsy. And in addition, please keep your eyes peeled because soon I will be rolling out an online singing course, okay, that goes over these 8 steps in more detail with exercises included. All right, so let's talk about primal voice. Primal voice is, in my opinion, and how I see it, it's just the natural voice that you speak with, and therefore it should be the natural voice that you sing with. So if I speak like this, I should also sing like this. If I speak like this, my singing voice should sound basically the same, right? So they should be mirror reflections of each other. So often, myself in the past and other singers that I've heard, you know, they open their mouth and all of a sudden they sound like, maybe you have this young, beautiful, fresh girl and she opens up her mouth and she sounds like she's an 80-year-old woman, and you're like, what happened? It's just very strange, right? It almost sounds like she's singing with a different voice. Or maybe you'll see a woman that has a naturally low, round, rich speaking voice, and all of a sudden she goes to sing and she sounds like a little wafy birdie, and you're like, it's just weird, right? It's weird. So what you really want, at least for me, is I like to sing with my natural primal voice. I like to sing with the voice that I speak with, so that if I blindfolded you and I started speaking, you would say, that's Jenny Lynn. I know it. I know her voice. And if I blindfolded you and I started singing, the hills are alive with the sound of music, you would be like, that's Jenny Lynn. You just would know that's my voice because it's so natural. It's so truly me. And I think what's so important about primal voice is that every person's voice is as unique as a fingerprint. Like Alicia Keys, there's no other Alicia Keys. And no one will ever sound just like Alicia Keys. You know, there's only one Maria Callas if you're an opera fan, and nobody will ever be her or sound like her. And so, you know, the voice is so beautiful and so special in that way. And so many people describe the voice as the most beautiful instrument on the planet. And I really agree with that. And so we don't want to take away from the natural color and tone and beauty of our natural voice in order to try to imitate someone else or be something we're not. And that's really easy to do, especially when you're like kind of getting into the groove of confidence for yourself as a singer. You know, it's really easy to want to be someone else. My students know, my voice students know that I'm a diehard Mariah Carey fan. I think Mariah Carey was the greatest virtuosic pop singer that ever lived. And I felt that nobody could do what Mariah could do in terms of just her range and her style and her technique and just all that she could do. And so she's my favorite singer in the whole world. And for so long, I would try to sing songs like her. But the thing is, Mariah Carey is a totally different voice than mine. She's a different voice type. And she's a different voice style, and she just has a totally different voice than me. And so the only way I can sing a Mariah Carey song with, you know, any sort of finesse is if I really make it my own, and I sing it with my primal voice. I sing it with my voice. So I think really what's important with primal voice is we have to accept our speaking voice, and we have to accept our singing voice. What I often find with women is that they come into my studio speaking like way too low and way too loud and way too forced, okay? So low, loud, and forced. And those 3 things will create a really masculine sound, a really manly voice, and a damaged voice with time. It actually will really hurt you to sing or speak in a way that is not natural to you. There's a lot of vocal damage that can happen there. So a lot of what happens, especially for students that come to me with a lot of vocal damage and really needing help to heal their voice and fix their voice, a lot of times it's really us just working on finding that real natural primal sound, which is often much higher. I shouldn't say much, but you know, a couple notches higher than she's been speaking at work or out in the world. And the world is, you know, obviously the world's a tough place. You feel like you have to be strong as a woman and you have to be assertive and aggressive. And when you, that's why a lot of times women will say, you know, at work, I'm feeling like I'm losing my voice. You know, in my everyday life, I feel like I'm in pain. I'm actually in pain when I speak or when I sing. And that can often be, you know, there's different reasons for that. But one of the main reasons I find is just too low, speaking or singing too low, too loud, yelling really, and forced. It just wreaks havoc on the voice. So if you're a female watching this video, one of the things you can do is just kind of pitch your voice a little higher. You know, just, I don't know, just feel like you've been sprinkled with a little fairy dust. Just kind of relax and also pull back the volume. Okay. So if a 0 is silence and a 10 is like screaming your guts out, just pull it to a 5. So just talking at a 5 and just refusing to yell, refusing to be a little too loud or to push or to scream. And just speaking at that 5 volume is very, very helpful for healing the voice. That alone, just if you'll speak at an easy, calm, level 5 volume, that alone will begin to ease some of the pain or strain in your speaking or singing voice. But the next thing to do for most women is just to, you know, just pitch it up just a smidgen. Just feel like you got a little fairy dust in there and, you know, just sort of feeling like the voice is kind of resonating up in your head. You know, just feeling like buzzing and resonating up in the head a little bit rather than so deep in the chest, sort of that chest voice grinding. The chest voice, you have to be really careful with it because it's very easy to overutilize the chest voice and to actually hurt your voice. Many pop singers have been in vocal surgery because they just push too hard into those chest tones. You got to pull a little bit of that head voice, a little bit of that falsetto sparkle, which I'll address in other videos. So keep watching the series. But that alone, just pulling the volume back and just pulling your tone up just a smidgen will begin to alleviate a lot of problems. So one thing that I do to try to get singers to sing in their primal voice is I'll have them speak a phrase. For example, roses are red, and the singer will say roses are red, and then I'll say roses are red, and they'll sing roses are red. And I'll tell them, don't be fancy, don't give me vibrato, don't give me anything loud. Just sing it the way you would speak it. Roses are red, and they'll say, roses are red. Roses are red. Roses are red. Roses are red. You can go ahead and say it. Roses are red. Roses are red. Roses are red. So notice I'm not being fancy. I'm not trying to sound like anything good. I'm not trying to be pretty in my voice. I'm just transferring my speaking voice into my singing voice. So something practical singers can do is, let's say you're struggling with a piece and you feel like, you know what, it's just you're grinding too much in your chest voice. You're in pain. You feel like you're straining. You feel like you're pushing too hard. Go ahead and speak the piece. So let's just pretend you're speaking I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston, okay? So I might just speak a few phrases and then try to sing them. If I should stay, I would only be in your way. And then I might sing them. And try to match that feeling that I had when I spoke it. Should stay, I would only be in your way. And one way to sort of match the tones is just place your hand on your Adam's apple, which is where your vocal cords or where your larynx and your vocal cords reside, where all the tone is created. It's right there in your Adam's apple. So just place your hand on your Adam's apple and just while you're speaking the phrase, feel the buzzing. Feel that vibration on your Adam's apple. And I will always love you. You will always love you. So I'm just sort of like speaking the words to the song and I'm feeling the vibration in my Adam's apple, which is where my vocal cords are. And then I go to sing it and I just try to feel that same vibration. And I will always love you. I will always love you. And notice that my speaking voice and my singing voice are really very similar. So, you know, to even make it more simple, I might take out the vibrato altogether and not try to sound good. Just try to match the buzzing in my Adam's apple. Just try to match the feeling and the vibe and the tone of my speaking voice. And I will always love you, will always love you. You. Straight tone. And I will always love you. I will always love you. Trying to pull out fancy schmancy this and that. Just trying to match it with my natural speaking voice. And that creates a great foundation for singers. And from there, singers can stylize and they can play with things and they can add coloratura or riffs and runs or louds and softs and, you know, loud notes and soft notes. There's all kinds of things you can do, but you definitely just want to feel like you're setting yourself up in your natural primal voice, that you're not trying to be Whitney Houston when you sing that song, because, you know, I've tried that for a million years and it gets me nowhere. You know, that I'm trying to just be myself and just sing with my own natural, beautiful tone. And that's my primal voice. It's the most healthy voice that I can sing with. And it's the most beautiful me that I can present to the world. So I hope that helps. If you like this content, if you find this helpful, definitely watch all the other videos, all 8 videos in the series about singing beautifully. And don't forget, if you would like one-on-one lessons, you can go ahead and contact me directly. You can also just purchase my ebook down below, A Pretty Voice, 8 Steps to Beautiful Singing, on Etsy or Amazon. And you can also keep your eye out for my course, which is coming out soon. Should have that out within a month or 2. And that will have further exercises and just kind of going deeper into the topics. And yeah, all right, guys, have a great day. Bye.